Welcome back to Fox 9 All Day here at 12:17. Ahmad Hicks in the building to talk about the Minnesota Vikings as we have a new general manager, correct?
Nolan Teasley, yes, comes over from the Seattle Seahawks, one of the only general managers in the Viking search that did not have any ties to Minnesota. So I say that's a great thing. Finally,
why?
Clean house. Like, get somebody who knows football. For the last couple of years, they've been this analytical, numbers-driven team where they just look at this, oh, well, his numbers this speed, this height, this weight, he can do this. No. Can he play football? Yes or no? Did he do good in college? Yes or no? That's what it boils down to. Then if he's a good football player, then you start looking at the numbers and throwing that stuff in. So around the NFL, from people that I spoke with, from reports that I've read, he's one of the most young, brilliant minds out there who hasn't gotten an opportunity. He was a business guy when he graduated college, played ball for a little bit, and then went the business route for 6 years, and then sent a letter to all the NFL teams just saying he wanted a shot. And he got an internship with the Seahawks and has worked his way up the totem pole since then, and now has his first GM job.
Is that normal for people? I mean, that just seems abnormal if you're first thinking about it as, you know, you just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, but then you start as an intern and then work your way up to the general manager. Is that the norm in the NFL?
It kind of depends on which light you're looking at it.
Yeah.
There are some candidates out there who will say that's not normal. There were some, like, for instance, the Jacksonville Jaguars GM. He's a similar story. He was an intern for the St. Louis Rams under Les Snead when they were back in St. Louis. Then he stuck around and eventually got promoted to be GM, and I think he's only in his 30s, and he's the youngest GM in the NFL. So it just depends where you look. Do you get these jobs back in the day, traditionally, being this young? Absolutely not. But nowadays, it's like, you know what, let's bring some fresh life in here, you know, some young blood, and see what they can do. So a lot younger guys are getting opportunities now.
I was just about to ask you, so what do you think this does then for the Vikings? Of course, I feel like the big offseason question has always been about the quarterback, of course. Once you lose Kwesi, it's like, okay, we still have this quarterback position, and what happens there? What does Nolan bring to this team that's sort of different than what Kwesi brought?
Some more insight, somebody who can watch the game tape and who can really dissect it, who can really sit there with the head coach and be like, man, that was a heck of a play that guy just made. Like, I know he's not supposed to be able to bend like that, whereas Kwesi, I'm not saying that he lacked football knowledge. I was never inside those rooms, so I can't really speak to what happened inside those rooms, but one can imagine that there was a lot of coaching Kevin O'Connell had to do and the rest of this staff to get Kwesi up to speed on who's really a good football player and who's not. Because when you look at Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa's drafts here in Minnesota, they were horrendous. They were horrible. I mean, they were some of the worst drafts in the NFL. Only a handful of guys that he drafted are still around nowadays, and very few of them start outside of like Jordan Addison and you know, Levi Drake Rodriguez, who's earned a starting spot now and things like that. So it was way too many misses. Now you get a guy in Nolan Teasley who knows ball, who can have good drafts. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but if you look at the Seattle Seahawks and their drafts in years past, they have hit home run after home run after home run, from Jackson Smith and Jigba to Witherspoon, their defensive back that's a dynamic superstar, to Kobe Bryant, like, you name it. Like, they have just done a tremendous job drafting and developing, and that's why you're able to be good right away when you plug in a quarterback like Sam Darnold.
I feel like they have been without a GM for a while. Is it normal for it to last that long, or was it actually short?
No, it was a unique situation because normally when they fire somebody, they bring them in within a month. You get a chance to draft your players, but the Vikings put a lot of trust in Rob Brzezinski, and they made him the interim GM, and they put the trust in him to go out there and fix the salary cap issues that they had because they were way over salary cap budgets. And you know, Brzezinski said that what they did under Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa without throwing him under the bus, said it wasn't sustainable. So he had to kind of fix some stuff. And look, here's my thing. Do I think they should have waited to bring Teasley in? No, because you want a chance to get that guy's insight, get his knowledge on the draftees that were out there, and get a chance to bring them in now. Now it's like, all right, well, he has to come in, he has to scout his team, he has to figure out who he has on this roster, and then it's a year before he gets to put his footprint on things. So, you know, there's a blessing, there's a pro and a con to it, you know, so we will see what that looks like this season, but I don't think that Teasley's going to do anything in the next 4 months that's going to make us be like, wow, this is a great GM, unless he just brings in some free agents after training camp. We're like, all right, like, what are you doing there?
So short amount of time that you have to
very, very short amount of time to put his hands on this roster for this upcoming season.
Do you see a Seattle Vikings rivalry
No.
brewing?
They got no,
not at all?
They got to win a Super Bowl first, man. Yeah, get on their
You
level.
are talking with some defending champions. You are.
Nah, so I don't see a rivalry. They have enough rivalries within their NFC North division to add another. They don't play them enough to become rivals. So unless they want to meet up in the playoffs every season, then maybe. But Vikings got to get to the playoffs and win a playoff game to do that. So.
But Vikings fan overall with this decision. Also, why haven't the Vikings come out and said, you know, this is our general manager?
If we knew, we'd be talking about it right now. I'm not sure.
So we have to wait.
Somebody inside those four walls told Tom Pelissero with NFL Network. He's very plugged in with the organization. So somebody's leaking the information. So it's like it's out there. So maybe they're just waiting to get him in front of the guys, speak with everybody, and then announce it. That's typically how some of that stuff goes.
Bring me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Ryan may have something to say about this. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah, I want to throw this out here, Ahmad. I don't know if you know, there's a report. Adam Schefter is reporting that the Browns are finalizing a trade that will send two-time Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, let's go. I'm a Rams fan. Let's
Garrett
go.
heading to the
Let's
Rams.
go. Let's go.
Ryan, people can't hear you, right?
Oh.
So people don't actually.
Oh, he just said, so basically what he just told me, Adam Schefter just reported, oh my God, they traded Jared Verse. The Rams just traded for Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. They exchanged Jared Verse, who the Rams just drafted a couple of years ago out of Florida State. That's a big move, though, when you're talking about the NFC West, the defending Super Bowl champions, the Seahawks. The Rams' defense was already good last year. They were stout. Now you're talking about adding one of the best football players in the National Football League, and Myles Garrett, and he just broke the all-time sack record last year. Like, he's unblockable. And so what he's going to be able to do in the NFC West, it just makes it that much tougher for Sam Darnold and Seattle to repeat. But that's a blockbuster trade right there in the NFL world. My gosh, that's a bombshell that just came out.
Ryan Ravlin with the alley.
Yeah,
right
so the
there.
Rams
Well,
are expected to send Jared Verse and a 27 first-round pick. Yeah. Oh, my. That's big news. So, yeah, so that's what good GMs do, though. They make very risky decisions, like trading away Jared Verse. You ask a general manager, I would never do that. He's a young superstar, but then you get a chance to bring in an elite pass rusher in a Myles Garrett. Like, a lot of people criticize Les Snead and the Rams for taking Ty Simpson, a quarterback, and they're like, what are you doing? You're one piece away from a Super Bowl. Hello. They just got that one piece right now. So that's what Teasley's up against, though. You want to be good, you got to make moves like Les Snead, like John Schneider, all those other teams. So we'll see. He's on the clock now.